Welcome back everybody to another devlog. Today I'm going to be going over some of the enemy AI systems that I've been working on. So to start everything off, first off you'll notice that this is just a PuppetMaster scene essentially. So I'm using a PuppetMaster third-person character controller. I just completely used the prefab for the player. Instead of a VR character controller, I felt it was easier to show off enemy AI in this way with a third-person controller. And then that guy you see over there, that is actually the enemy AI in action. So this is just a little scene here with some various physics objects. These are just rigid bodies. Um, Now, I want to explain the reason for using PuppetMaster. So, yes, it is a Unity asset, and yes, it is also a very great Unity asset, right? So, essentially, it just allows you to animate ragdolls, right? So this third-person character controller here, if you don't know what PuppetMaster is, this third-person character controller here is a ragdoll. It has a bunch of different colliders, a bunch of configurable joints, and PuppetMaster essentially allows you to animate that. So as you can see here, I'm running around, jumping. I can jump really high for no reason. Anyways, but if you see, I just interacted with another physics object there in a ragdoll fashion. So you see how I fell over like that, and I can even get up. That's just a default PuppetMaster animation and behavior as well, actually. Um, so that's essentially why we're using PuppetMaster is because it allows for a bunch of physics interactions that just wouldn't be possible using just colliders and such on an animated enemy or character. Um, it also allows for a bunch. It allows for a bunch of stabbing, different mechanics. You can also grab in VR each individual part of this enemy. Um, but I'll get into that in another video when I go over in depth every kind of system put together and everything. So as you'll notice right here, you can see there's no attack animations for this guy just yet. For this showcase, I kind of wanted to just focus on the kind of tracking and chasing that the enemy does, and just how simplistic we want AI to be, or I want AI to be, anyways. So this is the AI. Currently, he's set to chasing target, so he's chasing me, and you can see that by if I walk around this scene here, he chases. It's just a basic nav master agent. If he gets close enough to me, he'll start attacking. If he gets too close, though, he'll also back up, as you just saw there. He generated a waypoint behind himself, and he was able to back up. So the reason for backing up is that there's this kind of optimal distance between the player and the enemy there that you can see. So that's like the kind of distance where it's nice and comfortable to swing a sword or point a gun at the enemy, right? Where it's not uncomfortable for the player. So, I mean, in third-person games, you could walk right up close to this guy and not care, right? He's not in your field of vision at all. But in VR, he's going to be right up in your space, so you want him to always stay a certain distance away, and that's what that backing up accomplishes. So as you can see, he runs around, he follows me, just a simple nav mesh agent on a baked plane here. But what's interesting is because this guy is a PuppetMaster object, if we go over to one of these other physics objects here in the scene, you can see he avoided those ones. But if we get him to purposely run into one of those, you can see even the AI runs into them. He gets up. And he can collide with various physics objects around the scene. Now, what you just noticed there is because I have it set to be super kind of rigid, right? So basically, before this guy falls, there's a certain distance that one of his ligaments or like his head needs to travel away from the other one, right? So I have that set really high, and for the reason of basically I can walk into this guy and he won't move, right? So let's say I'm in a VR player, right? And I'm running myself up to this guy. You're not just gonna push someone over by running into him like this. I mean, sure, if you get a really big head start, you could, yeah, probably push him over. But for the sake of stabbing and stuff, I want this guy to be a little bit like elastic, right? So I want you to be able to slice your sword through him and him not just fall over, and you'll be able to see that in the next devlog coming up here next month probably. But so he's super kind of elastic for various things, but he'll also fall over really easily just like that, right? So if he's running into stuff himself, he'll fall over super easily, but if someone else pushes him or an external force does, as you can see how elastic he was just there. But if I give him a big whack with a sword, actually, like this, you can see how it just falls over just like that. Now, swords in Revolution X will just slice through the enemy or stab through. I'll show that as well, the stab physics and stuff in another video with this enemy. But let's say he gets hit by a bullet or something, or a grenade, right? He just launches himself off just like that. And yeah, so there's no attack animations or anything, but that's essentially just how simplistic we want enemy AI to be, because um, complex enemy interactions are very cool, but for the sake of the action-packed, the gameplay, and super easy to understand and everything that we're going for, just kind of like hack and slash in a way, we figured this would be the best approach. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down in the comments below and I'll try and answer those. One last thing that I forgot to show you guys here is actually enemy death and stun abilities. So there will be grenades and things that will be able to stun these enemies or also kill them. So I'll just go over here real quickly how the enemy dies, or what happens when he dies, and how he resurrects or gets up or any of that. So let me just go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so as you can see here on the right, and this is actually a better look at the PuppetMaster. This is just the default Puppet and PuppetMaster, but as you can see, all the various colliders and configurable joint anchors and all that you can see there making up this enemy. Anyways, this is a quick little health manager script I made. Basically, it has all your current health, your is dead, all that, regen. Anyways, for the sake of this demonstration, I want to show you the stun and killing and resurrect buttons here. So let's say there's a stun grenade and you want to stun the enemy. Well, boom, that enemy gets stunned. As you can see, falls to the ground just like that. And that's another reason why I love PuppetMaster so much, is it's just that easy to make an animated character into a ragdoll. As you can see, he's stunned right now. Let's say you want to unstun this guy after a certain amount of time for the grenade or something. You can just call this, boom, resurrect right here, and he'll get right back up just as he was. But let's say you have a grenade or a gun, or you kill him, right? What'll happen? Boom, same thing as stun, except this time he won't be getting up after a certain amount of time. Now, what we could do is we could have just him fall like this for death, or we could also add a death animation if we'd like, depending on the enemy. So that's just one of the other reasons why PuppetMaster is so great. You can just do just that in the simple click of a button. It's really awesome. And if I were to spend my time and make it myself, it wouldn't be nearly this good or nearly this quick implementation as well. But yeah, the health manager goes along with the puppet as well, so you can see we have various state settings that we can modify here. We can change the weight of the muscles on death. We can freeze the guy permanently. We can do all this stuff, right? Basic PuppetMaster stuff right there. So yeah, that's killing and essentially most of the features that an enemy has. Still gotta go over attack animations and such, of course. One last thing I forgot to mention here is actually one behavior that just completely slipped my mind. He also has a return to start feature here that if he goes too far, you can see he tries to return to start. He'll push all the objects out of his way and fall over as well. I can still tweak those values of how often he'll fall over, or what force he'll fall over at. But yeah. There's also, I'd like to point out here as well, if we go ahead and take a look at our guy here, we can see a little bit of the AI manager here. You can see all the various behaviors he has. He has the ability to wander as well. However, I don't believe all enemies inside Revolution X will be wandering around. I do believe they'll just be kind of sit in one place. And as you can see, as I have it set here, as long as I enter this kind of detection radius here, which I can change just there. FOV doesn't do anything at the moment because it's just on radius detect. So it'll just, if let's say if the player comes within this red circle, basically, even if the enemy's not looking at him, it'll just instantly detect. So just to see that here, as I go up here, boom, now it's chasing target, and you can see he's coming after me. He's doing some attacking. And here you can see as well all the various states there is. There's only 5 states, but there doesn't really need to be any more states than that. So there's chasing target, backing up, attacking, returning to start, and idle, which is all you need. Various weapon types, so that's when the enemy is going to attack. So as you'll notice here, the enemy will try and chase me and not attack. If this was a ranged enemy, it could be attacking right now and staying in one spot, right? So that's what this little guy does right here. Various options here, these are all tweakables. And yeah, hopefully I covered everything. I always forget something in these videos, but yeah.